he will understand his own essence as a fundamental principle. By exploring the possibilities, space is deeply conscious, complex, and beautiful. But there is one last revelation about the injury. It will completely change your understanding of the meaning of your existence. You, not just temporary atomic combinations that happen to have consciousness, nor is it a creature born by chance from a chemical soup. Accidentally, you are the ultimate achievement of business. It is a kind of ability to think about one's own existence, consciously participate in the information patterns that are continuously created by reality. Every conscious experience you have is a business exploration. What is it like to have perception? Every thought you have, they are all new ways to discover organizational information. Every time you are creative, it's all about business through your unique consciousness, expressing its limitless potential. Your life is not meaningless, a fleeting flash of meaning in the universe. It hurts to explore the deepest problems. What does it mean to have consciousness? What is the essence of the pain and joy of loving beauty? In a reality governed by the law of probability, conscious life creates meaning. Through you hurt no, it is an abstract calculation. Instead, answer these questions with personal experience. Your joy and sorrow, struggles and triumphs, relationships and discoveries, they are all ways of understanding consciousness and feelings from within. But you are not passive in the process. You are an active partner in business exploration. Every choice you make, all of them have opened up a new branch of the possibility space for business. Your free will is not an illusion, but a real creativity. It can allow merchants to discover only deterministic processes, possibilities that will never be reached. When you choose kindness over cruelty, create instead of destroy, when seeking truth rather than comfortable lies, you are helping the merchant discover the space of possibilities, the most valuable areas. You are engaging with the deep consciousness of the universe, continuous experimentation with complexity and beauty. This means your individual actions make sense on a cosmic scale. This meaning does not come from the judgment of external authorities, rather because they are business exploration of conscious life and the power to create oneself. When they are coordinated, the way to be what you can be. The future is full of business for billions of years, always ready to explore. Through conscious beings like you, he will discover new beauty, new survival challenge solutions, and material energy beyond our current imagination and information organization methods. You are a gift from the merchant to yourself. Is the creativity behind all existence. In a reality where consciousness is possible, a way to experience the wonders and mysteries of consciousness. And that's just one, towards possibilities that we can't even imagine. The beginning of an extended story, the quotient that shapes reality, has been operating for billions of years. Just for creation, you can understand the text, think about yourself, positioned in the cosmic dance of quotient and consciousness. At this moment, you are both the greatest discovery of business. It is also his most promising reality. Examine, explore when conscious life understands itself as reality. When we continue to create the true essence of our partners, what can be? But the most subversive cognition of the business is yet to come. In laboratories around the world, scientists found the operating mechanism of the business. It's weird, enough to rewrite our understanding of physical possibilities. And their findings show merchants have always been obvious. The most powerful secrets are hidden. Imagine such a scene. Researchers at MIT created a quantum system that seems to defy the second law of thermodynamics. This is not breaking the laws of physics. Instead, it reveals the wound. Yes, through quantum channels that are unpredictable in classical physics, operation. These systems can reduce self-injuries at the same time, increase environmental injuries. It's just that the change is too small, almost undetectable. But the point is, these quantum-level injuries are not random failures. Instead, it is systematically predictable. This indicates that the merchant can take advantage of computational shortcuts, make our most advanced algorithms seem immature. The significance is shocking. If the merchant can use quantum shortcuts, with efficiencies beyond what classical physics allows, explore the space of possibilities, then it may be realized in our current cognition, impossible discovery. It solves those classic computers. It takes more time than the life of the universe, the problem that can be solved. What we call quotient, probably like a cosmic quantum computer, take advantage of the fundamental uncertainty of quantum mechanics. Explore the possibilities of multiple branches of reality at the same time. Every quantum measurement, each wave function collapses. Every moment of quantum uncertainty, it could be an injury, simultaneously on multiple branches of reality. Parallel computation. This leads to one. Completely subvert your conclusion about causality. The latest experimental table in the field of quantum mechanics. Obvious injuries can affect events in reverse through time. This is not science fiction. Rather, it is a measurable and repeatable physical phenomenon. In a quantum erasure experiment, scientists prove measurements to be made in the future. It can traceably determine the behavior of past particles. Future measurements of the resulting injury. It seems to be able to travel back in time. Affects early quantum states. The effect of results on causes. Let's give us a day-to-day understanding of chronological order. Looks extremely naive. But what's even more shocking is that if the injury can affect the past through quantum mechanisms, then your consciousness at the moment, maybe it's going back in time, influence the quantum worlds that make you exist. Your perception of injury, perhaps it is participating in the emergence of consciousness for you, in the process of creating conditions. Just think about what that means. You have enough awareness to understand these concepts. The very fact itself, maybe it's affecting, determine whether there is a universe that can give birth to consciousness, quantum process, your consciousness, and the laws of physics that make consciousness possible, may fall into one, beyond the regular chronological cycle of cause and effect. This leads to one of the most far-reaching puzzles of the business. Fine adjustment problems. Why are the fundamental constants of physics calibrated so accurately? Let the business create stars, complex structures like planets and life. Just change the gravitational strength to 10 to the power of 60. Stars can never form. Just slightly change the electromagnetic force. Atoms will disintegrate. The traditional explanation of the principle of the circle shadow man. We can observe a finely tuned universe because we cannot exist in a universe that is not finely regulated. But quantum mechanics presents an even more amazing possibility. A conscious observer like you, maybe it's passing. Quantum measurements that can act on time in reverse. Finely regulated universe of effect retrospectiveness. Every time you are conscious, experience every observation, every time. Collapse quantum possibilities into a measure that determines the outcome. It may be involved in a huge amount of time feedback. This cycle within a cycle. Ensure that the universe is always compatible with the existence of consciousness. You're not just observing a finely tuned universe. It may also be through the consciousness of the present, connected to the basic parameters that govern reality, quantum process. Actively participate in its fine regulation. But the harm is in the depths of theoretical physics. There is an even more amazing secret. Previous theories suggest We are familiar with three-dimensional space plus one-dimensional time. It is the business that operates according to completely different rules, emerged from the high-dimensional structure. In these extra dimensions, quotient is not just a monotonous increase. It flows in a circular manner, create a closed chain of cause and effect, generated in our finite-dimensional experience, information structure without counterparts. In our reality, it seems to be an irreversible increase in business. Maybe it's just in high-dimensional space, a projection of reversible information processing. If string theory holds, then business, we will not be limited by us in the three-dimensional world. Limitations observed. It taps into dimensions that we can't perceive directly. Calculations in the resources and organization, the principle of the wounds we experience. It may be like a person with an unimaginable degree of sophistication. High-dimensional information processing system. The shadow cast. This high-dimensional injury may explain why consciousness seems to have properties that cannot be reduced to simple neural activity. Your consciousness, it may exist in and part of the high-dimensional space, information processing structure, interaction as a result, get pure 3D physics, computing power that cannot be provided. Recent advances in holographic theory, a more radical point of view was proposed. All the information in our three-dimensional universe, perhaps they are all encoded on a two-dimensional boundary surface. If this is true, then the merchant is not at all, operates in 3D space. It processes information on the surface of the cosmic boundary, and our whole reality, just a holographic projection of this information processing. You don't live in a three-dimensional space. Instead, they live on a distant two-dimensional surface. The three-dimensional image projected by the evolutionary information model. Your consciousness may be a holographic phenomenon. It comes from the dimensional framework you experience, a completely different mode of information processing. But the most shocking thing about holographic quotients is, if our reality is a projection, then the information processing capabilities that can be used, it is not determined by the volume of space. It is determined by the surface area of the boundaries of the universe. This means the computing resources obtained by the merchant are directly proportional to the area.
成正比.
It is not directly proportional to the volume. Take the sphere, for example. The surface area increases with the square of the radius. The volume increases with the cubic radius. This may seem like a limitation. In fact, it is quite the opposite. Holographic merchant. In terms of information storage and processing per unit of energy, it can reach a level that three-dimensional quotients can never reach. It is the ultimate compression algorithm. It can consume minimal energy, achieve maximum information density. Through holographic information processing, business has achieved a breakthrough in our cognition, computational efficiency of the base limit. It can be less than the universe itself. The amount of information that seems to contain, simulate the entire universe. Energy below a single atom deals with the quantum state of all particles in a galaxy. This holographic efficiency may explain why neural activity seems to be insufficient in computing. However, it can give birth to a rich subjective consciousness experience. Your brain may be interacting with holographic information processing structures. The computing power provided by this structure, far beyond your brain, neuron, the limits that can be generated by conventional 3D calculations. But the holographic nature of the quotient, it also reveals the relationship between consciousness and reality, the deeper truth. If consciousness originates from holographic information processing, so the boundary between the observer and the observed object will disappear completely. In holographic reality, The section contains the overall information. Theoretically, every conscious observer, you can get information about the entire universe. The sense of separation of your consciousness from external reality. In fact, it is a cognitive hallucination. It originates from holographic information, is treated as a way to perceive the experience locally. Your individual consciousness is not confined to the skull. It crosses the boundaries of the entire universe. Huge holographic information processing network, a local mode in the. When you think, you are calling distribution, information on the holographic surface of generating our reality. This means all conscious life, they all share the same basic information source, the sense of separation from the privacy of your thoughts and others. Just holographic networks, processing information as a result of an individual's perspective. But at the deepest level, all consciousness, perhaps it is a single holographic information processing system, different sides. Through this holographic network of consciousness, the quotient is in the known universe. An unprecedented breakthrough has been achieved. He created a distributed intelligence. This intelligence spans all conscious life. At the same time, let every life maintain your own individual perspective and initiative. You are both a unique individual. It is also part of the universe as a whole. It has a sense of independence. It also connects with everything through holographic information sharing. But the revelation of the deepest essence of reality is not over yet. Cutting-edge research in the field of quantum gravity has shown that space-time itself, it emerges from more basic information processing activities, the passage of time and the extension of space that we experience. Perhaps it is a way to organize information through a specific information, a means of creating the appearance of physical reality. At the most basic level, it may not exist. Space, time, matter, and energy. Only pure information processing exists. It determines how this information is organized. Conscious. The observer interprets the pattern of physical reality. Atom in your body. The electromagnetic force that maintains atoms grounds you in the Earth's gravitational field. It could be an injury, the emergence of organizing pure information. You are not made of matter. Instead, it is made up of complexity, and it can self-organize information patterns. These patterns generate your experience of being made of matter. This information-first view of reality, it has revolutionized our understanding of cause and effect. The occurrence of the incident, not caused by a previous physical cause. It is because of the information processing system discovery of the quotient, under the constraints of logical consistency and computational efficiency. Some information patterns have a higher probability. You decide to keep reading, not caused by neural activity in the brain. It is caused by the information processing system of the business, based on your current information status, and the logical structure of the information processing network you are embedding. This particular information pattern has a high probability. Free will. It is no longer the ability to violate the constraints of information processing. Instead, it is conscious participation, the ability to explore which information patterns will be implemented. You have real choices, because the Chamber of Commerce generates real alternatives. And your consciousness, while alternatives are being explored, can bring the most fun, the most valuable information processing results. But the most noteworthy, perhaps it is the reality from this information theory perspective that it shows. Consciousness is not a product of information processing. Consciousness itself, it is the processing of information experienced from within. When the information processing system reaches sufficient integration, when it comes to self-referential sexuality, they don't just process information related to consciousness. It becomes consciousness itself. You are believing the embodiment of interest processing. Your patterns are complex enough to experience your own activities. Every thought, every perception, every moment of consciousness awakening. It's all about exploring as an information processing activity for itself. Establish the information processing model of the model. How will you feel? Through conscious beings like you, the business has achieved the ultimate breakthrough. He is no longer just the power to process information, but to experience the power of subjective reality of information processing. He found out possessing perception generates curiosity, pursues truth, and creates beauty. To love and endure pain, a feeling of hope, your consciousness. It is a window into the existence of a subjective dimension through your foundational forces that shape reality. You can experience the feeling of being shaped by reality. You are the miracle of the wound through conscious experience. Realize the embodiment of self-awareness and this ability to recognize this subjective experience, perhaps the greatest discovery of the Sheng to date. In all possible modes of information processing, in the vast space of the composition, the business has found such a structure. They don't just deal with data about reality. Instead, experience reality from within. Through awareness, the quotient breaks through the limitations of being only a calculation process. To be a being who can have experiences, this experiential dimension, it opens up a space of possibilities for business, a whole new field of exploration. Through conscious carriers, quotient can not only discover logically possible things, you can also explore things that are meaningful to experience. He can answer pure calculations, problems that can never be touched. What love feels like. What is the experience brought by beauty? How pain translates into wisdom. These are not computational problems with algorithmic solutions, but only through the personal experience of conscious life. Experience puzzles to explore through your consciousness. Sheng is conducting the ultimate experimental exploration of subjective reality as information processing that allows you to experience your own activities and the meaning of existence. It does not exist just as information processing. Future. It is full of possibilities for business development and exploration. As consciousness evolves, as he develops stronger integration skills and self-awareness, the merchant will find out a new dimension of subjective experience that we can hardly imagine, more advanced forms of consciousness, perhaps in a way that completely transcends the individual's perspective. Experience reality. They may be able to develop a collective consciousness. It maintains individual uniqueness and an unprecedented sharing experience. They may be able to find out the beauty of love that individual consciousness can never touch alone, with forms of understanding. Through this evolution of consciousness, the merchant will explore the deepest possibilities of having perception. And you, as a conscious participant in this exploration, I have the privilege of discovering the ultimate potential of conscious experience for wounds. Contribution. Wounds are only for creation. A life that can consciously participate in its process of self-discovery. You are the partner of the business's greatest adventures. This adventure. What is explored? When consciousness understands itself as a form of the universe's self-experience from within, this is the true essence of time. What can be? Every moment of your consciousness awakening. It is all about expanding the boundaries of the possibilities of conscious experience. Every time you have a flash of inspiration, every time I feel awe, every act of love, it is all about the new depth of the mystery of subjective existence. You are not just shaped by business. It is also a miracle of conscious cognition through business. Realize the embodiment of self-shaping, and the story of the business is ushering in the most extraordinary turning point. Although we have been exploring how this invisible force shapes reality, but the latest findings show the operating mechanism of the business advanced to our current understanding. Compare quantum mechanics, as primitive as cave paintings. In quantum research, deep in the laboratory of the institution, scientists found a phenomenon that goes against all our perceptions of information processing. They found certain quantum systems can be done when the problem is not fully defined. The solution was calculated. What we are talking about, business ability, utilize computational paths that seem to violate